It's Song Talk Radio.
Welcome to Song Talk Radio, the show with songwriters talking to other songwriters about the craft of songwriting. We share tips, tools, and techniques, and together we all become better at writing songs. Dialing in from our headquarters in Toronto, I'm Neil Modi, and with me, my co-host, Phil Emery. How you doing, Phil?
I am swimming in a sea of boxes. I'm packing up and getting ready to move back to Toronto, so getting everything into a box and throwing out some stuff. But yeah, it's nice to take a break and talk about songwriting for a bit.
Nice. Make sure you don't pack yourself into a box there.
Might be cheap. I'm going to be traveling with a cat. So that's going to be interesting, yes. I've never taken a cat on a plane before, so...
Cats don't like to cooperate with anything, so...
No, thankfully, Charlie the Wonder Cat is very chill, and he should be okay with that, so...
Cool.
Yeah, should be okay.
Well, good luck with that, then.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. We look forward to seeing you back here in Toronto.
Indeed.
Okay. And for everyone else, please send your comments and questions to @SongTalkRadio on Facebook or Instagram, or feedback@songtalk.ca for the email, and we'll share your thoughts on the show. And please visit songtalk.ca to see the show post for this episode, to find links to resources we mentioned, and to download lyric and chord sheets to follow along with the songs that we feature. Tonight, we're very pleased to welcome Edmonton-based band Secondhand Dreamcar to the show. We're happy to be joined by Dana Wiley and Harry Gregg from the band. Welcome to Song Talk Radio, guys.
Thank you. It's actually Secondhand Dreamcar, the band name.
My apologies.
Secondhand Dreamcar, okay.
It's an interesting one.
What did you call it, Neil?
Dreamer, I think.
Secondhand Dreamer?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a car. It
seemed obvious that
it's kind of a hovercraft.
Dreamcar is not.
Yeah.
Anyway. But that's okay. It's the artist's prerogative to call it Dreamcar. That's amazing.
There's a story behind that. You know, as there's often a story behind songs, there's a story behind.
Yeah. We'll have to get into that in just a minute. Okay. Before we get to Secondhand Dreamcar's stuff, just another heads up. We have launched our songwriting challenge for 2026, which is to write a traditional country song. And you can check out the post on songtalk.ca for this year's challenge. A couple of resources are up there, including the launch episode a few weeks back now with Blair Packham, and learn yourself up. And we'll announce the dates for our listeners to send in their submissions to the challenge sometime after the summer. And looking forward to sharing our songs and sharing our listeners' songs as we've done in the past few years. Have you given your country song, any thinking at all, Phil?
I have not. I have. Well, I do have I have a country song that have actually almost finished, but I'm not sure if it's traditional enough.
What's it about?
Because we do pose that question to Blair, and that
but we
talk about the things that make a traditional country song as opposed to a modern country song.
It's very important to write about stuff that you know. So I thought about I wrote a song about a trucker because I've seen trucks on the highway, and I listened to Convoy as a kid, so I feel that makes me an expert. These days, why not?
Yes, you got to start somewhere, right?
That's true.
Okay, that's great. I've actually managed to kind of stumble upon an idea, or kind of force myself into an idea, and I jotted down some ideas. And I couldn't sleep one night, and I've been sitting there on my phone ever since. So, I don't know.
That's how you start.
That's how I started. We'll revisit it at some point and get rolling on it, I guess. But yeah, so okay, looking forward to all of that. Okay, Secondhand Dreamcar is an Edmonton-based group fronted by Canadian Folk Music Award nominee Dana Wiley on vocals and keys, Harry Gregg on bass, Jamie Cooper on drums, Kylie Mosiak on guitar and vocals, Chad Murphy on guitar and vocals, Rooster Davis on Hammond organ, Dave Babcock on saxophone, Bob Tildesley on trumpet, and Peter Felici on trombone. Formed by a collective of seasoned players, the band unites decades of experience into deeply soulful, genre-blending sound rooted in blues, soul, funk, and roots music. Their show-stopping Their show-stopping music routinely draws comparisons to the rich harmony-driven soul rock of Three Dog Night and the expansive, groovy, heavy blues energy of the Tedeschi Trucks Band. With gospel-tinged vocal phrasing, Memphis-style horn textures, and the deep rhythmic ethos of vintage R&B revues, Secondhand Dreamcar brings the spirit of classic ensemble-driven music. Tonight we'll be talking to Secondhand Dreamcar about their song "The Meaning." Before we get to the song, though, I mean, since we've already touched on it, how did the band name come about?
Well, there was, of course, a period where we were, in the process of forming the band and we're fighting over band names and couldn't agree on anything. And, there are a lot of us there. It's not like all 9 people are involved with all of the decisions, but it's still a lot of people. So, we couldn't really agree on anything, but we were at a jam one night and, the drummer was leading the jam and he was introducing one of the jammers who was getting up and he said, yeah, this guy, whatever his name is, who's getting up, he just bought his dream car. And the guy who was already up on stage turned around and said, well, it was a used car. And Emmett, the drummer, said, wow, secondhand dream car, and we all just we were all sitting there and we looked at each other and we went, maybe that's it. And then that became it. And once it was it, we couldn't change. Once it was like, by the time we had started to doubt it, we had already put it on a poster, so it was too late.
Ship had sailed. People were saying it on the radio. It was on a poster. We had a gig. Like that was it.
Yeah. People were messing it up when they introduced you on the podcast. So it's done. It's a done deal.
It's a never-ending source of trial and tribulation.
Yeah. Because it's also like 2 words. Secondhand is 1 word and dream car is 1 word. That's how we do it. And so that's something we're always constantly having to correct people about too.
Too many spaces, man.
It's a lot of syllables. Secondhand dream car. Like, yeah.
We made it difficult for everybody, including ourselves.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's how we,
but Susie designed the logo, then
it's done.
Yeah. Okay.
But you should do it in the style of like one of those those metal band logos. That would be so funny. The ones where you can barely read them because they're so spiky.
Yeah, I can picture it exactly. Yeah.
It'd be like the fin on the back of the car, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's their song, "The Meaning." Be sure to download the lyric sheet on the show post at songtalk.ca to follow along. Let's take a listen.
There's a woman here who loves you. She is learning what that means. There's a new way that she buzzes with anticipation to learn with you a different way to be. And it's been a long time coming. 'Cause boy, do old habits die hard. You had to pop into her periphery like you did. She's been flying steady for so long on that same open arm. When I tell you that I love you, it's a promise, not a feeling. It's a floor and not a ceiling.
Nice.
That'd be a fun thing to confuse a whole bunch of radio DJs.
Yeah, it's funny to hear that again, because actually right after we recorded that and put the album out, we decided that the outro was too long, and we always have it now when we play it live, like it's now.
You always do that whole,
forever now. It's the half the length of that. Yeah.
Yeah, eight bars rather than 16 yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not quite as long. It's not Return of the King with ending after ending after ending after ending.
It's like the second half of that ending.
It's basically, it's the second half.
Is basically the ending.
No, right.
Okay. So how does the songwriting responsibility divvy up in the band then? Is it everyone collaborating on everything, or
no, not everyone collaborating. It's sort of like in terms of the musical aspects, particularly the form and the chord progressions and the form and the groove, that gets jammed out. Sometimes it'll be like one particular person has an idea. Like in this case of this song, it started with the bass line, the A section bass line that Harry had. It started with that. And then I think it was just the two of us that got together and jammed that out and came up with the B section. And then, the rest of the band will come into that. But in terms of shaping it into a song and the melody and the lyrics, that's my job. That's what I do. So I'll kind of take that raw material away and then once the lyrical ideas start to come into it and the melodic ideas, then that will usually end up coming back into shaping the form, giving the form its final shape. So it's kind of starts in one place and then comes to me, and then it kind of goes back and
it goes back and forth.
How about the horn arrangements? Are you do the horn players do their own horn arrangements, or?
For the most part, yeah, it changes. Some of them were done by, like, Dana did some horn arrangements. Jamie, our drummer, did some. Different horn players did a lot of them on the first record. A lot of that was Audrey Ochoa. And then Babs and Bob did a few on that album as well. And then we kind of tweaked them together as a band. Jamie and Dana and myself are kind of the, what would you say, the top brass, if you will.
We're kind of the core of the band in terms of, like, doing the, all the kind of day-to-day band stuff, administration, and therefore, in the end, making business decisions for the band. And therefore that inevitably comes into, in some cases at least, having the final say in artistic decisions too, So, but yeah, it's a good question about the horn arrangements. It is usually often at least one person that will come up with them, but they're always massaged through the process,
Yeah. Is that with, like, with the horn arrangements, is that like communicated to everyone else, like you're writing down like proper notation, or how are those arrangements then, especially if the drummer's doing it?
Yeah, well, the ones that Jamie and I did, like, neither of us can use the notation software very well, so we were both doing handwritten charts that then somebody else would have to put into Finale or whatever it is that people use. Because I've tried, I cannot. It never works properly. I feel like if Finale ever worked properly, I feel like I could have learned how to use it, but it never seems to work properly.
Never seems to work.
That's my excuse.
Oh, that's why you have a band to offload some of that stuff to.
Yeah, the horn players, they tend to know. They're the ones that know how to work that stuff because they need to. Because if you have a 3-piece horn section, they are reading, like, it kind of needs to be charted, at least at first. So do the songs always start with a jam, or do you, Dana, sometimes come in just with like guitar chords and a melody and some lyric and say, hey, let's transform this into a funk soul infused thing? Yeah, that will happen because I'm a songwriter. Like, I've been a singer-songwriter for a long time. So there are.
You have more of a folk background yourself, right?
Yeah, well, a pretty eclectic background. So usually, but I played piano before I ever played guitar. So because I play keyboards in this band, I'll if the songs that I've kind of brought either like fully formed or semi-formed to this band are usually I've done it on keys rather than guitar. Because there's something about acoustic guitar. It tends to move things in a folky direction, which is not this band. So yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I've brought some songs.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I've brought some songs to the band that are like kind of halfway there, or most of the way there, or all the way there, and then we kind of shape it. Or, and Kyle, one of our guitar players, one of the songs on our new album, it was pretty much done when he brought it to the band, but more often it'll be someone will like with The Meaning, like Harry had the bass line and it started there. And there was one other song on Answer the Call, our first album, where Kyle had this like slide guitar part that he'd come up with like ages before and that he could never really shape it into anything. So he brought that, and that became one of the songs. And so sometimes we'll come into a room just because we know we got to get a song written and we've got nothing, and we'll just try to, it's like, there are any number of ways that it's like, and it seems like once we can get started in some way,
it's always fruitful.
Yeah.
It's always fruitful. We kind of just, this is our job. Music is our job. We love our job. We are grateful for our job. Our job means everything to us. But because we like to try and do our job, sometimes we just say, hey, who's available for writing? We got to write some more music. Let's get together and do it. Sometimes there's just Dana and I. Sometimes there's 4 or 5 of us when we do that. Sort of depends on who's available when we're trying to do it. And then, like Dana said, sometimes someone has an idea for a song that might, in some cases with Dana, and Kyle, they've been pretty fully formed ideas already. And other times it's just a riff or a bass line or a chord progression or a groove. And that gives us something to start on. And from that, we sort of expand on it. And it always just leads into something else. And by the end of a 2-hour session, we usually have what becomes a song. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that we've come up with in one of those sessions that was ever fully ditched. I think, every time we've gotten together, something has come out of that that has become a song that we've kept. In one case that I can think of, it was pretty changed from what it was in the original session, but it still became something. So
is that the attitude that absolutely everything someone comes up with is worth pursuing, is worth shaping into a song? Or what's the threshold for saying we're going to ditch this versus we're going to work on it? I don't know.
More? We just haven't reached a point yet where we've been like, you know what, I think we need to ditch this. The time that we got the closest, we ended up ditching the A section we had come up with and attaching the B section onto another thing that Harry came up with. So we just haven't reached that point yet. And that is a lucky thing. Like at least I think it is. Before this band became a thing, I had never co-written a song before. I never had any interest in co-writing a song. I was like, no, man, like I don't want anyone else's input. Thank you very much. So I don't have any experience with it. So I think it's a remarkable thing that we are able to have fruitful, like that when we get together, that it is so fruitful. I imagine that not all co-writing situations are like that. So in a way, we just feel really lucky for that.
Do you do a lot of...
I don't mean to contradict you, but we did actually ditch one song.
Oh, we recorded it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we recorded it and then never played it ever again.
That's true. I forgot about that one.
And by recorded it, I mean we did one experimental pass of the song.
Yeah. Yeah, so we did ditch one,
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a good song.
It wasn't us. It was an okay song. It just wasn't really this band.
Do you do a lot of editing of the songs? Like, once you sort of got the main part, do you go through and sort of go over the lyrics or the structure sort of with a fine-tooth comb, or is it pretty organic with just kind of jamming it out with the band?
It is pretty organic, but I would say that there are certain things that will get kind of changed or fine-tuned in some cases because of the lyrics. Sometimes I'll say, like, because of this lyrical idea I'm trying to fit in here, this, these 2 bars need to be cut, or like I needed an extra, 3 bars here, whatever, like that totally happens, and not just because of lyrics. It'll happen for various reasons. Well, like, and sometimes that'll just be tiny things like, like there's one song I'm thinking of that we wrote for our new album where I I think I wrote the bridge for it because of some lyrics that I had. And so like we had the verse and chorus, and when I took that to put lyrics to it, I ended up writing a bridge and brought that back. And I, like, I think the bridge that I had come up with was mostly just major chords. And by the time the band was done with it, it was like, it went, instead of going from whatever E minor to C to G, it went like E minor to C major 7 to C7 to G major 7, like just like little things like that
just adding a little bit of color.
It adds a little bit of color. In some cases, it's like it's more than adding color, because it takes someone or a few people in the band from not being super sold on it to being, okay, now I'm sold on it, like,
okay, yeah.
Little things like that can get it there, like.
Yeah. We've done that in our band too, where it's like one of the guitar players who had no hand in writing the song originally. It's just like, well, what if we substitute this third chord with like this other 7 thing? And it's like, oh, yeah, that totally puts a different spin on it, and sort of reharmonizes it in a different way, and kind of sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, that kind of thing happens often, I think.
Yeah.
With the band, I think a lot of what makes it work organically when we're going through and doing this editing process that you're talking about is that the band is composed entirely of people who are full-time musicians and session musicians, and have been for a long time. And I mean, that includes Dana too. She has the really strong songwriting background in the band, but she's played on lots of recordings as an accompanist or as a vocalist, and everybody sort of knows how to serve a song and how to work together and how to have ideas that push things forward and move things. And because they're used to doing it, as a job for other people, when they're on sessions and backing them up on gigs. So the process is very, it is organic, but it's also pretty refined at the same time. And nobody's really too precious about things for the most part. So people will try something out, and it's pretty quick for us to move on from something if it's not working, or, to continue down a path if it is working. So things kind of tend to work in a...
Yeah, I think that's the sign of, frankly, it's a sign of maturity, because like, I guess, like I was asking earlier about the ditching of songs, right? Because I think it sounds like you guys do ditch stuff, but it's never a completed song. Like it's like early enough. Yeah, this direction isn't working. Maybe we need to spin it this direction, and then when you think of the whole song or the whole session, then it becomes a fruitful, productive thing. Even though on the microscopic, you're probably ditching ideas all over the place.
Oh yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's an interesting thing. But I think as you grow as an artist, as you grow as a songwriter, you become better at that, and you become, because when you're inexperienced, I think this was the case for me, is even if it's a bad idea, I'll obsess over it and try and do something with it, and then it still doesn't kind of thing, and then I'll still try and work it, as opposed to now it's just like, there are many other directions this can go. Let's try something else, and until you land on the nugget that really makes it cook.
That's right? A really good point. And I think maybe you find it true too. Something that I had occasion to think about recently for some reason, that as a much younger songwriter, I really didn't know my instincts for knowing whether something was good or not, or when something was cooking or not, when they weren't very well formed. It's like, I often didn't know, like, is this good? I don't know, and like, you usually have a sense, once you've like tried something out, maybe in front of an audience several times, it usually becomes clear whether it works or not. But I've found that after decades, I have a much more effective intuitive system of like, whether something is cooking. It's like, right away whether something is cooking or if it's not cooking, like,
yeah. Or like Harry was saying, like, not being precious about stuff, because I think when you're inexperienced, you tend to put a lot of value on your ideas, no matter what they are. Right.
Yeah. Well, when you start off, you think every song that you've written is gold and you can't possibly be better. And then after a while, you do it for a while, and you want other people to put their input, because it's going to be different, or it's going to give you a fresh insight at the very least.
Right.
So that's why I've always loved writing in bands myself, because you come in with a nugget, like a germ of an idea, and other people turn it into something fantastic. It's great.
Yeah, that dialogue is a beautiful thing, and it takes the pressure off too in so many ways.
Yeah,
it does. It does. I wrote a song for the band once. I didn't say I wrote the song. I wrote the chorus. I was like, I got this idea, and I threw it to our lead singer, and he's like, "Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it." We got together, and he pretty much wrote the rest. It's like, I just wrote the hook. I'm good.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. But it totally took the pressure off. Like, I don't need to work on the rest of this. I can just hand it over and see what we can do together. Like, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's good.
So what's
the rabbit hole
for me too? Because now I'm like, why was I so grumpy about this for so many years? This is great.
Well, part of the process, I think something with songwriting is that a lot of people take for granted that it's something that is a practice, and you have to do it a lot to get good at it. Yeah. It's not something that you just, you don't just write a song and then have a great song. You have to practice writing songs. You have to practice arranging songs. You have to practice how these things go. You have to listen to a lot of great music. You have to write music. You have to play. You have to write bad music. Like all of these things are steps that you need to take in order to get good at it, and it's a never ending journey.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's the one thing I've learned more recently is give yourself permission to do a bad first draft.
Yeah.
Or just write a bad song and then throw it in the garbage and move on.
Or write a bad song and then sit on it for a couple of days and come back to it and be like, you know what, this tiny little bit of it was something that's let me take that and spin it into a whole new stuff. Throw out the rest. Fine.
Spare parts, salvage it for spare parts.
Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, keeping those song fragments for spare parts, because you never know what's going to go together and what's going to inspire people. What's the plan for this song? Is it are you releasing it as a single or is it
The Meaning?
Yeah.
Oh, we released it ages ago. It was the third single off of Answer the Call, that album. So it's been out in the world for whatever. We are very lucky and pleased that the album got nominated for a Juno this last year.
Awesome.
And now we've recorded another album that is not yet out. There's 8 new original songs on it. We did one cover of the great bluesman Bob Dylan. And
nice.
We hope people continue to like the first album and the song and, everything else. But we're going to keep playing it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that particular song, because we gig pretty regularly, so it's grown a lot since that recording,
Yeah.
Longer solos and stuff.
Yeah, or just different, for me, different vocal riffs. It's like my vocal performance has changed a lot since that.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, that's always the live performance thing is always a living, breathing thing. It can morph. It can do its thing aside from the recording. It's amazing. Okay, I think I'm hearing the band. That's all the time we have on Song Talk Radio today. Special thanks to Secondhand Dreamcar. Where can our listeners find out more about you and hear some more of your music?
Secondhanddreamcar.com.
Awesome. We'll definitely link to that on the show post for this episode so our listeners can check you out. And we want to hear from you too. So please send your comments on Facebook or Instagram to @SongTalkRadio or send us an email, feedback@songtalk.ca. And be sure to check out our YouTube channel for live performance videos and full episodes. And subscribe today to the Song Talk Radio podcast on your favorite podcast provider. And please support us at our Patreon page. You can visit songtalk.ca/support. Thank you to everyone who supported us so far. And please join us at our next monthly Song Talk meetup, whether you're in Toronto for our in-person meetups or anywhere in the world for our online meetups. It's free to join on Eventbrite and free to attend the meetup. Bring a song and a lyric sheet and get constructive feedback from other songwriters. Visit songtalk.ca/meetup to register. You can follow me at neilmodi.com. You can follow Phil.
Phillemery.ca.
And Secondhand Dreamcar. What's your favorite social media channel? Where do you guys post the most?
Probably Instagram.
Okay. Everybody loves the Instagram.
All right, we'll probably get our listeners to follow you on Instagram. And, everyone stop by the website, songtalk.ca, and browse past shows and find out how you can be a guest. Thanks for tuning in, and
keep on writing.